It's like the. Oh wait, hold up.
She say, do you love me? I tell her only partly, and only on my bed and my mama. I'm sorry.
Are you a Drake head now? Oh no.
So Raymon, how's it going? I haven't seen you. I think since the last time we recorded this podcast,
That's
or we haven't
probably
really
true.
talked.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. We did location scoutings on Saturday, and so I don't know if it's my job to do locations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's me or Gabby, the producer. Well, there you go. But
First minute.
I don't know. Like I'm just afraid to like ask like, hey, is it my job to do locations to make sure that they're, because I know she's producer and she has like she's in charge of the thing.
Yeah.
But we went location scouting with like all of us, and a lot of the locations like I put down. Some of them I didn't, but a lot of them were like ones that I put down so we can go.
Mm-hmm.
And we locked like maybe one or two, and so we had to keep looking. I was like, man, and so I kept looking, but it's just hard. It was something. Oh yeah, so it was like the morning of that Saturday, and I was like, hey, I'm the food guy. So I was like, I texted Gavin, I'm like, hey, should I bring like I was thinking I should bring water and like fruit snacks or something because we're gonna be out there a while. And the last time I did a location scout, for UTV last semester, we didn't have any. Like I just brought my own stuff.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Oh, that's a good idea. Just keep the receipt." And I kept the receipt, but I wasn't just gonna like give UTV like here's the receipt. I was just gonna pay for it myself.
You got money back.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, it's either gonna be Paw Patrol fruit snacks because I mentioned that like for presenting for like the whole UTV class, or something funny.
Yeah.
So Paw Patrol was like $3. I'm like, I am not getting $3 fruit snacks for Paw Patrol.
Like a single pouch or like one of those boxes?
The boxes, but the princess ones were $1.99. And I was like, well, thank you. So I got 3 of those.
Obviously.
And then when I was over there, I was lugging. I carried in like that red bag that has like you can like keep things cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like all these like 17 water bottles in there, and then those things, the fruit snacks, and then the cuties, and the oranges, and I was lugging that through the snow, from there to Skyview, and it was tough. I barely made it, and then it turns out I was early.
Barely made it.
Well, I thought they said 10:30, and
made
then
it with the skin of your teeth.
I didn't, and then nothing.
Oh,
happened.
they made it on time.
Yeah.
I know you barely made it alive.
Oh.
I thought you were just exaggerating.
No, I was fine.
Dude,
and
the
then
skin of my teeth.
And then Gabby's sister was there, like after like a few minutes of me just looking at my phone, and I was like, I don't know what to do, and I think she came out of her car. I'm not sure. And then she was walking to me, and then I hear my name, and I'm like, I was like, am I going crazy? Was that you? And then it turns out it was Gabby across the way with everyone else. I'm like, oh, I guess I was just alone. And so, we met up, and I was like, all right, guys, I got snacks and water in case you guys need it. All they had was the princess ones. I got a big laugh. And then, but we were trying to figure out on our way to one location, like walking to like a parking garage, like what princesses were on there. Because it doesn't say the name of the princess underneath the gummy or the fruit snack thing. Sure. It just has like the images and then like 4 princesses like on the cover, like Viva Disney Princess fruit snacks. And we're trying to. There was like a few of them we couldn't like. Couldn't
crack.
Toss of a coin.
I bet I could have figured that out instantly.
I don't know because Meredith is on there.
Meredith?
Brave? Yeah. Okay, I said it wrong because Juliana said that. I'm like, is there a name? Anyway, so that was pretty fun, and then I didn't talk to anybody after that for like the beginning part, and then whatever. But apparently, this one guy, he's the sound guy. He has a pet fish.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's not from a pet store. He caught that MF.
He caught that MF?
Yeah. It's a bluegill.
I don't know those.
He showed us a photo of it. I couldn't see it though.
Like, oh, it looks good.
Like, it was I was like, whoa. I didn't know what I was looking at.
Oh my god, dope fish.
It was hard. Like I literally did not know. I could see where it was like camouflage or whatever, I couldn't make out a fish.
That's a gnarly fish.
Yeah, and so he showed us that, and I was like, that's pretty sick. And apparently, they have it like Petco or whatever. They have fish there specifically to feed to other fish. Like
That's
they're called
awesome.
feeder fish.
Mm.
And like they only last.
Yeah, it's like when you go to Petco, they have like a bucket of crickets, so you can just.
Yeah. But apparently, yeah, like they don't live a long time, so they're feeder fish.
Bluegills?
No, the
okay,
little ones that the
I was
bluegill
saying,
feeds on.
He just kept the feeder fishes in bed. That'd be funny.
So that was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. Oh yeah, yesterday. Nope. Today's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
Crazy. I don't think anything happened yesterday.
Time's not real.
I know. But Sunday.
Sunday.
So, I'm in a cinematography class. Now I had to pitch my project to, or we all had to pitch our projects. That's pretty much all we did for the Friday class.
Mm.
This is 9 in the morning, and so I was like, all right, I want to pitch first. Just get out of the way. 20 people later, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go next. And then he was like, all right, and then he's saying like, to go next. No one's over there, so I just get up and I just sit down while he's talking.
Yeah.
And we had to like rapid fire go because we still had a few people left, and the class was running down. So I was like, okay. So I pitched my idea. I'm like, all right, there's a mop. And the mop kills the other mop.
Imagine, if you will, a mop.
Yes, and it's noir, and the mop kills the other mop, and then this detective, this feather duster, is on the case, and he essentially cracks the code because this mop's greed led to his own self-destruction. That's kind of the point of the thing. And I said the mop's jealous of this other mop that's like better, like a Swiffer or whatever the heck.
Ooh, Swiffer quicker picker up.
Yeah, and then Emily said the actual thing, and I was like, thank you, because I honestly didn't know what it was called. And then Carter gave me some compliments, whatever. He's like, can you make mop murder cinematic?
You said I can make anything cinematic.
And then
I said, Carter, I'll bet you $3 I can make anything cinematic.
And then it's a 3-minute thing. But
$1 for every minute.
I just said yes, and then he gave me a compliment, and I was like, oh, you're so cool, Carter. Not because he gave me a compliment. It's just he's a cool guy. He's 32.
Thanks.
And but he tells the stories, and the students are like, how are you not like dead?
Oh, like shit he's done?
Yeah.
That's funny. How are you still here?
It's fun. It's crazy. He's crazy. He like kicks his boots off in class, throws his jacket on the floor. He's just funny. But yeah, I pitched that, and then we had to do like a schedule. The only person I know in the class is Emily, and like 2 other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I had Emily in another class before that, and so she was like, I can take the camera today. Because there's 3 reds. Those are like a type of camera. Yeah. Probably $5,000 each. So we got $5,000 cameras. And that does not include the lenses kit that it comes with, and the tripod. And so we had to like work out somehow within 2 weeks everyone gets the camera. Mm-hmm. Like on a day we only have a day to shoot. Yeah. So she was like, I can pick it up today and give it to someone on Sunday. And I was like, I'm free all Sunday. I was like, perfect. So she was like, I saw like we had to write our dates on the board that would be available. She's like, I saw I saw that you had Sunday available, and she was like, in her head she's like, Raymond, can you get the camera? And then I saw that, and luckily, and then so she was like, okay, what time do you wake up? I was like 5
in the morning.
And then she kind of looks at me, and I was like, I got stuff to do, Emily. And then she's like, I respect it. And then
busy man.
She was like, I'll probably give you 7:30. I was like, okay. And so she texted me on Sunday like, I'll be there around 7:30. I was like, all right. And then it's cold as hell outside, and
freezing.
She pulls up her van, and she gets out. Now, she's told me stories before she slipped. Mm-hmm. She told another person I knew that she slipped too. She was like, dang, she slipped twice in 2 different areas? Yeah. I was like, dang, I didn't know
she had the slippery feet.
And so I was like, do not slip, because I'm going to feel real bad. You slip because you're giving me the camera. And so she gave me the camera and everything. And she was like, can I help you bring to your apartment? I was like, I got it. And she was like, well, let's have you. And I was like, all right. And so come up here. Now, that Friday, I forgot to mention this. I was wearing my Snoopy shirt, my Snoopy jacket.
On Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's like, oh my gosh, my family loves Snoopy. Mm-hmm. And like, we're Snoopy heads. And I was like, oh, I got a Snoopy phone. And then she was like, I want it. And I was like, sorry. And then I came in here. I came up here. And then, I kind of stopped at the door. The door was open. Yeah. And I kind of stopped it. All right, thanks, blah, blah, blah. And then, I was like, do not slip. I told her.
Yeah.
And then, she went
Do
down.
not slip.
She was like, I just woke up. And then she went down, and I got the stuff. I'm like, all right. And I was putting it together. I'm like, this is sick. I shoot the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. My knees were killing me. But I shot the movie or whatever. And I go to bed, like, around 10 because I was trying to, like, get the files onto the computer because I have to...
Go on.
Because I have to turn it in. Or I have to give it to someone the next day.
Yeah.
And so... Oh, my gosh. This is unbelievable.
This is a professional podcast with 21 episodes.
If it dies, I'll just plug it back in. But I had to give it to someone the next day. And that's the honors college. So I had to walk all the way over there. And I was like, oh my gosh. It felt cool though. To like get it off you, just like, I can stand again. It's relief. But I went to bed, 10 whatever. And I'm like, I gotta wake up at 5 tomorrow. And, I'm laying in bed and I was like, you're so stupid! You could have invited her in and showed her the dang phone!
Yeah. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
So I was like...
So she has a boyfriend, so none of this matters. But I decided...
Still, though, you make a damn friend for once.
I know. She's super cool. No, I was like, you stupid idiot. Like, I was literally lying on the bed. I was lying on the bed like this, right? And then, I'm just like thinking to myself, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. Like, I'm whispering to myself. And I was like, oh my gosh. It's alright, bro. You're so cool.
So you like put the pillow to your face?
Dude, I was like, oh my gosh, you're such an idiot. You're such a jackal.
It's fucking hilarious.
It was terrible. Another experience where I fumbled the bag. It doesn't matter though. Like I said, she
a lot
has
of
boyfriend.
fumbles for you.
What's
the opposite of a fumble? I feel like we talked about this before. What's the opposite of a fumble? A clutch?
I
like
guess,
clutch up?
clutch.
Clutch up.
But yeah. But there was one shot in that thing where, like, we see the knife, and then through the knife's reflection, we see the killer.
Ooh,
and so the killer's the mob.
Yeah.
And like the duster's kind of like leaning in because like, did I just, and so our knives aren't clear enough to where I can see
aren't they
it.
like, we all have the colorful knives.
We have other ones, and I use the other ones.
What are the ones? Like the butter knife?
There's like a black one.
Oh,
like
yeah. Like real steak.
So you couldn't see. I couldn't see like the mop in the reflection. I need a mirror. I didn't have a mirror. So this is like about to be 5:40 or whatever. I drive to Walmart and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get a mirror because I was like, do I go to Fry's? I was like, I don't want to wait for a train, in case there's a train. Yeah. So I go to Walmart. And I'm looking. They reorganized that place. So I don't know I don't know where the mirrors are.
Yeah, they rearranged all.
I'm looking everywhere. I go in like I go in like almost every aisle besides the food one because why would I? Yeah. And then I was like, this is insane. And there's there's a bunch of people because it's a Sunday and it's like 5 o'clock.
Sure. Everyone's shopping.
And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man! I just want a mirror. And there's I see an aisle that says like mirrors and blah blah blah. But they're those freaking big mirrors you put in houses. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I keep looking. Then I eventually come back. I'm like, all right, I'm buying the bullet. And then I buy this little pack for $17 that has 3 heart-shaped mirrors, but at 3 different sizes. Oh, this is so embarrassing. I'm walking out of the store with the heart-shaped mirror thing. And then I come back. I put the mirror on the floor. I test out which ones would work best. Put like a lens, like a 135 millimeter lens, whatever. That just like makes it. It's like a super zoomed in. So like if I like were to put it on like my face right now, I could be able to like zoom into that 330/24.
Damn, nice.
I don't know if it's fully, but that just
to
illustrate that because I didn't know what it did until I put it on because I don't know what lenses are. But yeah, I put that on, and then I got the shot, and that it was like 6 something. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I was like, that's the last shot. I was like, I'm done, and I celebrated with Pepper. I didn't really. I was just like, Pepper, we done.
Pepper, we did it.
And I was like, and we went, and we went, and we went. I was listening to that song that day. But and that was the day I discovered the song, actually. And then yesterday I listened to it before I worked out. Yeah. And then to and from school. Yeah. And then today before I worked out. Yeah. And then after I worked out. And then when I made lunch. Yeah. And then on my way to school. And then in there before we did the podcast.
Okay, gotcha.
So and then right now before we did the podcast.
It's a song for sure.
Sorry, I've been talking my ear off talking your ear off. So that's pretty much what happened to me.
Nice. Good to know. I don't have anything.
I don't talk that much.
I don't. No, it's interesting though.
Yeah, but it's like what, 20 minutes?
I mean, we talked for like 3 minutes before. Anyways, I don't have like a sort of event that happened, at least off the top of my head. But this last week has been interesting for sure. Because after we recorded the podcast on Tuesday, son of a bitch, why does your light do that?
I don't know. I never get anything that works.
So, after we recorded on Tuesday, me and Jacob, you know how Harkins does the Tuesday night classics, right? We went to go watch American Psycho. I think I mentioned that in the cinemas. I was like, we're going to watch this American Psycho tonight. So we go there. We didn't buy tickets ahead of time. I used to always buy tickets ahead of time. It was like an anxiety thing. Like I was just really nervous that there weren't going to be any seats, and I didn't want to sit next to another person. I would have rather just not watch the movie. And yeah, and so but they have like a little kiosk so you can buy the tickets, you know, little computers. Assuming they work. But we drove to Harkins. We walk in there, and we go to the machine and we click on the American Psycho show. There's only one show. Tuesday Night Classics. They only show one time, 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. And that bitch was full. There was 4 seats left. They're both in pairs. And they were, or no, like 4, 5, 6, whatever. But like they were all in the front row. And the only ones that were there were at the very edges. So me and Jacob ended up getting the far right front 2 seats. And let me tell you, I was like, Jacob, I was like, this shit's on HBO Max. I was like, we can go home and just watch it at home. I really, like, not like, let alone the fact that it's at the front fucking row. I don't want to sit in this room with this many people. And because I know for a fact most of these people are watching this movie ironically, and I bet I'm going to hear a lot of laughing when they shouldn't be laughing, and like people cracking jokes and shit. And I was like, we can watch another movie. I was like, there's a couple of the showings here, but we chose to watch it, and I said, all right, fine. And I bought the tickets, got my popcorn and my drink as I must, and we sat down, and that shit hurt my neck because I've sat that close like 2 other times. Because I remember we went to watch Project Almanac. We were like in the 3rd row-ish. But we were like towards the center. And then we went to watch Doctor Strange with you, me, and our buddy Renee. That sucked. Because it was Cine 1 here in Arizona. Which is like the biggest screen in the state, I think. And we were in like row C on the very left. So it was the exact same thing. But like a 20 times screen or whatever, you know? That hurt too. And also it's Doctor Strange. So like all this shit's happening and you're like... And that's the thing, because American Psycho, there wasn't, like, action. But, like, I wanted to see what was going on in the full frame. But I have to, like, if I want to look at the left side of the screen, I'm over here. And then I want to look at it, I'm looking right over here. And it's fucking, it's insane. Movie was fine. Because I understand the movie was, like, a satire of, like, this certain culture and, like, psychology of men. And I got that. But, like, there were some parts where I couldn't tell if it was funny because it's become such a meme, this movie. Or not the movie itself, but scenes like from the movie and shit. Or because it was meant to be funny. So that was very confusing for me. And then also I just feel like sometimes if you're going to do a satire, you got to draw that line pretty well. And sometimes they kind of teeter back and forth. So I don't really know, but it was enjoyable. I had to piss. I think it was like the first time I walked out of a movie to piss in like forever at a movie theater. But I just really didn't care. I was like, so I got to piss bad. But yeah, no. And then, but yeah, no, it was fucking packed. I did not expect that. And then at the end of the month, this month, they're going to play Rocky. So I'm probably going to go check and watch that to prepare myself for Creed 3 because I haven't seen any of the Rocky franchise. And it would be kind of cool to see it in theater. But I wonder if all the Tuesday night classics are like that.
What?
Like packed?
Not for the ones I went to.
Well, have you been to ones up here, though? Because I've been to one before this, and it was Close Encounters of the Third Kind down in Phoenix. And it was pretty empty. We were like the only ones there. But that's because it's Phoenix. There's like a bunch of Harkins. It might be packed just because it's the one Harkins in town, and there's only there for one showing.
That makes sense. And there's a lot of film students here.
Oh yeah, that too. That could be it. Especially like classics. Because I think this week today is Top Gun, and I don't know what next week is, but I know at some point it's Breakfast at Tiffany's this month.
Oh man!
And the last week is Rocky.
I've never already seen it, but I'd like to watch that movie again, man.
I told Jacob, I forgot what the first one was, but I was like, I would be down to watch all of these in a cinema. If you want to go. And I didn't get a solid answer, so I think we're just going to go to Rocky.
Doesn't respect, what was
cinema.
it, 1961?
Tiffany's? I have no idea. But yeah, anyways.
Sure I'm wrong.
Anywho. That was the most exciting thing. But a lot of things have happened at work. But that's not really exciting. I tried to start editing a YouTube video that we filmed. Mm-hmm. You know, I filmed with Jacob. And here's a little problem that I encountered. We filmed with 2 cameras, mine and Jacob's. And Jacob has an iPhone, which means his camera records in MOV files, and my Windows computer doesn't run MOV files, so I couldn't edit it yet. So I had to convert it. But mind you, this is a 2-hour video in like 1080p or whatever, and it's like 10 gigabytes, which is crazy because mine would ended up being like 20 something. I guess the iPhone's just good at compacting it, or maybe MOV as a format. Whoa. But and every like free converter was a limit of 1 gigabyte. And I was like, this sucks. And I was like, I'm not going to buy a converter app just for this one video. And because like, all of the ones that I found were like subscriptions. It wasn't like a $5 app. It was like $7 a month. And I was like, yeah, I could cancel it, but that's $8 still. You know what I mean? That's like $7-8. And then I found one that was free, and I took like an hour, and I converted it. And I started editing, and I was like, the colors are fucking awful. Like, the converter crazy desaturated it. Because I'm like cutting back and forth to Jacob, and his is like all colorful and shit, and then it got back to me, and like the whole thing's just beige. And I'm like, I don't know enough about color grading to fix this. And I was like, I just need to do this. And I did it on my Mac, and it literally took 3 days. Like, I just let it sit there, and I was like, it'll be done when I get back home from work. And it was at like 20-something%. And I was like, okay. And then I forgot about it, and I checked back, and I was like, it wasn't even done like a day later. And I was like, Jesus. God damn it. But I just checked before I started recording, and it looks better, so I think we're good to go. But still, it was so stressful. Oh man, I'm just tired because I have today off, and then I'm already back to work tomorrow. But I have Thursday off. I just don't like split days off. You never feel as quiet as rejuvenated.
It's whack.
It's whack, is what it is. But today has been nice. I've just been relaxing in my room. Yeah, that's all I got. Well, critter heads, or should I say, cryptid heads. If you've noticed from the title, and if you're watching the YouTube video, we got a certain vibe going on. It's another Cryptids Corner. As requested, or I mean, we were talking about doing it again. And last week, Raymon was like, can we do Cryptids Corner next week? And I said, you bet your ass we can. And here we are. How excited are you, Raymon?
Well, now that it's not Frankenstein.
Oh.
I'm pretty hyped.
Things are going good. All right, that was 20 minutes. Who goes first? You?
Yeah.
All right.
I can't do anything though.
What do you mean?
Pepper's with me.
Want me to go first?
No, I'm good.
Definitely not that.
Pepper, please.
What episode is this? 18? No, this is 19.
I've stopped keeping count.
I let the podcast
I know
flow
there's
through
17.
me. I let the podcast just sort of flow through me.
And that's as much as I'll. I didn't even. It's untitled.
We got a comment on one of our podcasts that wasn't from anyone we know.
Cool.
That genuinely shocked me. It was I think it was 16. It was when we did like the one who blanks.
Oh, that's even better.
The blank marked as a blank, you know? Here, let me pull up the comment. And I guess it was just this person that just really liked that format of labeling themselves, and they labeled themselves like that.
Cool.
And let me see what they said. And I left a comment, and I was like, sounds badass.
Sounds cool, bro.
Sounds pretty fucking sick, dude. Hey, Pepper.
Dang, I opened all these. Oh, that was yesterday. That was this. Oh.
The one who reads voraciously, a fish marked like a basset hound.
A fish
marked like a basset hound. And I said, you know what? That sounds pretty fucking sick.
That sounds.
You're gonna drink water that loud in the middle of our podcast? Damn it, Pepper.
How do I write a montage? Cool.
How do you write a montage?
I'm looking at Grace's folder for the writers. You can just look at everyone's things.
Sounded like a startup for a joke.
Oh, no.
How do you write a montage?
I don't know.
So I was at a laundromat the other day. You ever heard about this? I was at the laundromat the other day, right?
What?
And the machine asked me to put a coin in.
You're lying.
Yeah, I've never been to a laundromat in my life. I'm just kidding, I have. I just, not recently.
Dude, I got bamboozled on that location scout day.
Why?
Like, you know, we're downtown looking at locations.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone's walking their dogs.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, people are like, oh my gosh, they had like some cute pugs.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, those are cute pugs. And then Zach's like, oh, today's take your dog out to walk day. And I was like, really? He's like, no. And I felt so ashamed.
I would have too. That's stupid.
I was in front of everybody.
In front of God and country.
And then he said
some made to look like a fool.
He said some other stuff in the car, and I was like, I don't know if I believe you anymore. Like, honestly, I didn't know if he was telling the truth.
You betrayed my trust.
Like, he said, like, some fruit snacks had, like, horse hair in it or horse something.
That might be actually true.
No, he was telling the truth on
because
that.
gelatin is made of
Yeah,
horse
that's
hooves.
what, yeah.
Hooves.
Horse hooves. And And we checked the ones I got.
Mhm.
I know how to get them.
No horse hooves.
Just
the hair.
hooves. Yeah. We were gonna write a.
They just scrape the dirt off the horse hooves and put it in the gummies.
Not for these though.
Oh.
I take care of my crew.
I bet you do.
Even though, what, 2 people got fruit snacks,
You're
one
the
got a
best
water
PA.
bottle. Yeah, that came up today again. I had to carry that thing back. Actually, Juliana gave me a ride back, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so stop bitching.
Yeah. We knew though. I never been to like South Village or South, like those the dorms, like the southest of campus, like near those. We driven like on our way to Target.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
like that other
I get
way.
what you mean.
We went up. I'm like, wow, I've never been here before. Honestly, it looks a little depressing.
Oh.
They're like, I wouldn't want to, because it's like the farthest from campus.
Yeah.
And you're right next to a soccer field. And
Oh,
if you
yeah.
don't play soccer, then what?
Yeah, South Village, those ones do look, they're very gray. They're just sort of big boxes. And they're very secluded from the other, like, apartments. Like, it's, like,
Yeah.
up that little hill and shit.
Yeah, and he's like, I gotta walk up there every night. And I was like, dang.
That sucks.
Got that fish, though.
Got that fish, though. That's a great fish, though.
His name was Jesse.
The fish's name was Jesse?
Yeah.
That's good.
I didn't ask him, though, if it was like Jess, or Jesse, orJessie, or some other iteration.
Yeah,
I don't
or
know.
Jesi.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
do Jece.
Or JZY. I'm just kidding.
Jay-Z.
Anyway, Scotland has the Loch Ness Monster, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm aware.
The
Nessie?
Pacific Northwest has the Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Rico has the Chupacabra. Nepal, the Yeti. They don't hold a candle to the lizard man.
Oh my god, wait. What was it, the lizard man? I'm trying to remember. It was like, we talked about this guy. The lizard man
We've
of,
seen him before.
yeah, we wrote a character off of him. The
Yeah.
lizard man of, oh, I forgot the name of his place. Where's he from? Is Lizard Man back?
So my cryptid this week is the lizard man of Scape or Swamp, also known as the lizard man of Lee County. Now the entity is said to inhabit the swampland of the region, first mentioned in the late 1880s. The purported sightings and damage attributed to the creature yielded a significant amount of newspaper, radio, and television publicity, which is seemingly all it's for. But of course, a denizen of the swamps surrounding Bishopville, and a connoisseur of delicious chrome trim on automobiles, the lizard man is South Carolina's very own homegrown monster, or cryptid, if you will. Now imagine, if you can,
Stop grooming yourself. It's gross.
in the wee, dark hours of the morning, on June 29th, 1988.
I'm putting myself there.
Okay. A teenage boy, you may call him Charlie, I don't care,
I may.
was driving home from work when he blew a tire along the edge of Scape or Swamp.
He goes,
Oh. That'd be funny, like an animation. Imagine if you will.
imagine if you will. Yeah, it's like really serene, like Twilight. I'm like, imagine if you will. A late night drive by a man named Charlie.
He got out of the car to change the tire when he heard a sound, like someone running, getting louder and louder. Suddenly, from the darkness, it emerged. Blazing red eyes, green scaly skin, long black claws on its 3 fingers.
Black.
I was thinking of the way Frank says it on not SNL, on Sunny.
Sunny?
That's the way he says certain words.
It's certain words, yeah.
On its 3 fingers, a staggering 7 feet tall.
Damn.
How tall was Kobe Bryant?
I'm not sure.
I gotta look.
You gotta be pretty tall to be in the NBA though. Or that's not entirely true.
There was a guy like 5'6", 5'8". Crazy.
Hey, you're being
Suddenly
really
from the
loud. We're
darkness
doing
it
a
emerged.
podcast.
I'm just kidding. What else could it be but a lizard man?
What else?
The
No,
boy
no
jumped into
explanation.
his car for safety, but the lizard man attacked the car, ripping off the mirror and gouging the roof of the vehicle.
Ooh.
Like gouging eyes, but for the lizard man.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks later, police were called to the scene for some vandalism. A car not too far from the swamp had been attacked in the night. Fenders ripped off, antenna bent, deep scratches along the body of the car, and chrome trim had seemingly been chewed off. Could it be the monster again?
Good.
Could oh.
It probably is.
No, oh
Son
my
of a
gosh. I
bitch.
cannot continue the story like
I'm a storyteller, damn.
this. Over the course of the summer, more cars in the vicinity of Scape Ore Swamp were brutally attacked and chewed on. And more people reported seeing an
People
enormous...
were chewed on?
No, the cars.
Oh, okay.
But more people reported seeing an enormous, scaly green man lurking in the woods and swamps. The police were called out, and the sheriff made plaster casts of an enormous 3-toed footprint left behind in the thick swamp mud. Imagine, if you will, a Ninja Turtle hand. That's what it is. But imagine 10 times the size or something. They considered to call the FBI, but decided against it. But then,
we need Area 51 on the horn.
as the cooler days and nights of the fall approached, the lizard man receded back into the swamp as suddenly as he appeared. His summertime reign of terror
gracefully as he came.
His summertime reign of terror ended in that summer of 1998 or 88.
Wait, that was it?
But a legend was born.
Oh my god.
Now, over the decades, there have been sightings on occasion and a smattering of automobile maulings, always within the vicinity of the swamps around Bishopville. This sounds like a fake town.
This sounds like a fucking middle schooler wrote this shit.
It's fun though, but nothing like that of the summer of 1998. I guess it was 98 when the lizard man made his presence and appetite for cars known. Now imagine, if you will, a giant. Let's just imagine this giant was made of iron or something.
Yeah.
And he came down from the solar system, crash landed on our planet.
Yeah.
And his appetite was for metal. So he ate cars.
Yeah.
That's like the lizard man, but a
real.
giant. Yeah.
Let's just face it.
So Brad Bird has nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But then in the summer of 2015, again, something remarkable happened. The thing that had always eluded believers and authorities: evidence, proof, a photograph of the creature taken by a woman with her cell phone as she left the church.
Right outside the church?
I know.
Right outside the God church?
He's a Christian, probably. He's a God-fearing Christian.
Yeah. He was in the back listening to the sermon.
I don't know what that means. Like, I heard someone say God-fearing, and I was like, I don't
like
get
the
it.
fear of God is instilled in you.
But we're supposed to fear God?
Yeah, we learned about that all the time.
I know, but like, I don't remember why I'm supposed to fear God.
I don't either. I think it was something like, I remember being told, like, it's less about fear. It's more like, it's like respect, because you sort of fear his authority, so that's why you respect him. And I was like, that doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, I'm afraid that when I say that, I'm gonna be like Scrooge in A Christmas Carol, and I'm gonna wake up and there's gonna be like 3 versions of me, and the ghost of my past, present, and future.
Of Christmas, past, present, and future.
I just feel like that's gonna happen, and they're gonna put the fear of God in me.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much.
Now the photo and a subsequent video
life
may prove Lizard Man's existence. Yeah, beyond a believer's doubt. But his shy nature remains unchanged. The lizard man remains elusive.
He's a little timid.
Yeah. Now, the South Carolina Emergency Management Division tweeted out a warning about possible lizard man appearances during the Great American Solar Eclipse of 2017.
That's what brings him out.
Oh my gosh. Just like a solar eclipse. This light turned off.
This bitch turned off. Don't look right at it. Don't look directly at this video portion, because you'll realize just exactly the production value of this podcast.
Okay. Now, when a total solar eclipse occurred in the state. Oh, so 27. That's when the solar eclipse happened. This sucks, man.
Just get a better one. How much was that thing?
$90, but it was working back then.
90?
Yeah, that's pretty good for $90. Lights are expensive.
Was it working back then? Did it ever work?
It worked.
Okay.
I haven't used it in a while. After all, it wasn't clear if his seemingly nocturnal nature may be befuddled when dusk arrived in the middle of a summer day. Sadly, Lizard Man didn't get the message. Perhaps he doesn't do Twitter. Visitors to the area around Scape Ore Swamp, are encouraged to remain vigilant. However, for the inevitable return of South Carolina's very own monster. So the next time you're in Bishopville, perhaps to admire the Button King's button-covered hearse, or to see what might be the largest bowl weaving in history at the Cotton Museum. Yes, these are all in one small, tiny town.
Awesome. We gotta go to Bishopville.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for what is probably the quirkiest resident of what may very well be the quirkiest town in South Carolina.
Now, Raymond, imagine if you will, take yourself back. What was it, summer 2015? Take yourself back to summer 2015.
What year were we?
You were 13.
Really?
That was like.
Well, what grade was I in? Because I have no perception of age.
Well, we graduated 8th grade in 2016.
Oh,
so
so
summer
7th grade.
2015 was the summer between 7th and 8th grade.
Okay.
So, imagine if you will, you're there. Imagine you are 13 years old, and for the last 30-ish years, there's been this legend in your town of a monster. And there have been sightings, and people are like, I saw him eat my car, and I saw him off at the church. It's true. I saw the whole thing. I saw him on Palm Sunday.
He lifted me up with his laser vision and shook me like a dog.
Dude, I don't know how to ask this. Like, I'm not going to say, do you believe it? Or would you believe it at 13? But.
Oh, I believe it.
You would believe it.
Well, if I was.
Well, to be fair, you did believe in Bigfoot. Or you do believe. Do you believe in Bigfoot still?
I don't know, man. The jury's on that one, but.
Are you a Bigfoot fearing Christian?
It's so hard because I want to believe.
Yeah, you want to believe.
I believe in aliens.
That's all faith is.
I think aliens exist.
Oh yeah, I mean that's fair. I believe that.
That'd be sick. If
I'm not big into like believing cryptids. I love the idea.
Yeah.
Aliens though, not in my mind.
What about ghosts? Oh, they're
They're
cryptids too.
yeah, for sure.
That's great, man.
Ghosts are definitely up in the air for me, but I'm leaning towards a yes.
Why are things scary though?
What do you mean?
Like we go to a haunted house.
That's a banger question.
Why is that scary?
I think it's the unknown.
But why do we think like ghosts are
such a
there?
stupid thing.
Like we're just like, oh, ghosts are real.
Yeah.
That thing. Just moved.
I think because there are people who
That
are
paper
like
blew in the wind.
I think there are people who are like a lot like their brain is a lot more logic oriented. Like for example, I was watching to get in the spooky mood. I was watching some Shane and Ryan videos on their Watcher channel, like their Are You Scared series, and they're pretty funny because they break the tension. But Shane is very like a logic guy. When he hears a noise, Ryan's like, "There's a ghoul," and Shane's like, "That was probably the wind." And I think it's just an innate sense of fear. For example, like when we went to our haunted hotel, did I think we were gonna encounter a ghost? No. But when
hallway.
But when we were in the hallway, I was a little scared, mainly because we weren't allowed to film, and I thought someone was gonna come and like yell at us. But also, like Jacob, the day before, or like the day before or the day of, he read to us the stories of the different ghost stories, and there was the one where it was like you will hear women like laughing and stuff. And I was in the hallway, and I heard women laughing, and I was like in my head, I'm like, well, that's just some women in one of these hotel rooms. But in my heart, I was like, damn. I was like, these women are lost souls seeking eternal rest.
Yeah.
I think it's just like for some people like that's even the tiniest hint of doubt just becomes like a little gap in logic becomes a fucking like a crater in like fear and like emotion. And I think sometimes people just don't understand things and we try to fill in the gaps and so it's like, well, we don't understand this, so it's got to be this. Like ghosts and shit. You know what I mean? I remember when I was a kid, I think, honestly, looking back, my sister does not watch this podcast. But if she did, I'll send her this clip. But I remember as a kid, my sister had the biggest bedroom of all of us. It was a nice bedroom. It was one with a bathroom in it and everything.
Yeah.
And a built-in walk-in closet. It's one that I eventually moved into after everyone moved out. But as a kid, she would tell stories of how she heard little footsteps running around, like crawling around, like something was going on in there. And it scared me. I never wanted to go into her bedroom. And I think she did that so I would leave her alone. Because I was a 10-year-old like little twerp and she didn't want anything to do with me. And I think she just wanted to leave me alone. Like that's that. But realistically, like if I was in my bedroom and I heard a little, I'd be like, there's probably a rat in here. I'm not gonna freak out. A rat's disgusting, but this is an apartment. It'll crawl to someone else's apartment eventually. Or if it's our house, I'm like, I'm gonna, I'll just get rid of the rat. Just put it in a box, throw it outside. But I mean, for someone who's like more like prone to that stuff, they're gonna immediately be like, "That's a ghost." You know what I mean? Or like a shifting in the winds.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah. People believe in all kinds of stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
believe the Earth is flat.
You believe the Earth is flat.
There's something else. There's another one.
There's a lot of
flat
things.
Earth. There's another one where like, oh, the Holocaust didn't happen.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's not even crazy or dumb, or I mean it is, but it's also fucked up.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. To just look at like one of the biggest tragedies in all of human history, and just be like, I don't get it.
How many people died in the Holocaust?
6 million Jews, I know that.
Okay.
But more, because they also persecuted, like, black people and, well, pretty much anyone that wasn't one of them.
You know what's crazy about that is that most people know that, but like, how many people died in the slave trade?
Oh, yeah, no, the schools won't tell you that.
Yeah, and that's like
Schools
over 9 million.
Yeah.
At least.
Minimum.
Crazy.
And then, like, they always tell you, like, the Trail of Tears happened, but they don't tell you the numbers.
That's crazy.
Like, they're like, that Trail of Tears happened, oopsies. Anyways, next unit, slavery.
Slavery. All right. Now, research Ben Radford states that this is a compelling story, but several important aspects wither under skeptical scrutiny.
Yeah.
Now, the increase in newspaper and media publicity promoted further reports of the sighting, and the area soon became a tourist attraction for visitors and hunters, which may be very well why he exists.
We should go and try to hunt him.
Local radio
That's
stations...
crazy.
What?
Visited by hunters? Someone trying to hunt this thing?
Yeah, they offered $1 million reward to anyone who captured the creature.
Raymond, we gotta go to Bishopsville.
That was, I mean, I don't know when this was.
Imagine we roll up with like vests and like harpoons.
That ended like
little,
20 years ago, son.
Sir, the reward is no. Sir, it was just a guy in a suit.
Oh.
Oh dear.
You don't touch my get, you punk.
Ooh.
Anyway, on August 5th, Kenneth Orr, an airman stationed at Shaw Air Force Base, filed a police report alleging that he encountered the lizard man on Highway 15 and had shot and wounded it. He presented several scales and a small quantity of blood as evidence.
A small quantity, a little vial of.
Orr recanted this encounter 2 days later. Recanted. No, that's like redacted.
Yeah.
When he was arraigned for unlawfully carrying a pistol and the misdemeanor offense of filing a false police report.
Hold on. So he brought them a little bit of blood.
Yeah.
Did they test the blood? Because let's be honest, it wasn't a fucking lizard's blood. Whose blood was it? Was it his own?
You could have killed a lizard.
I guess just took an actual lizard, just drained it into a vial.
Oh my gosh, this is a lizard. This man's onto something. Now, according to Orr, he had hoaxed the sighting in order to keep the stories about the lizard man in circulation. Reports of the creature gradually declined at the end of the summer. Now, this is 98. Local law enforcement officials speculated that the sightings were likely to have been a bear. But those are skeptics. In 2008, CNN reported the lizard man legend in a story about a couple in Bishopsville who had reported damage to their vehicle, including blood traces. Now, the blood traces were subsequently found from a domestic dog, though the local sheriff suggested it might have been a coyote or a wolf. Now, skeptical investigator Ben Radford, this guy, he states that the details of Chris Davis's story, the young man from the beginning, I just didn't remember his name, did not hold up under scrutiny. Sheriff Truesdale stated that Davis's story never wavered, but Radford writes that isn't true.
There are murders that have been unsolved, and these investigators are running around seeing if there was a 7-foot-tall lizard man eating cars. There are children missing.
That's true.
Like, I mean, to be fair, I don't think this guy's affiliated with like the police. I think he's just a guy who's, you know what I mean? Yeah. Is he associated? Don't tell me he's associated with the police.
The Radford guy?
Yeah.
Like the bad guy?
The bad guy.
I have no idea. It said earlier, I just deleted that part because I was like, I don't care about that.
That's fucking terrible. What better things we could be doing with people's lives?
Solving cancer.
Well, I mean, to be fair, anyone who's going to believe in a lizard man and try to find him is not going to be smart enough to cure cancer. Okay, now, I want to say this. The reason this has been really funny is because... Is the 2015 church picture, is it the picture that you showed me earlier?
I have no idea. I haven't
looked
that up before.
But when I think of the lizard man, that's the picture, because that's the one we saw like a year or something ago. And for those at home, I'll put up the picture on the video portion. This is unequivocally a man in a suit. I mean, the eyes are painted on. I mean, like, from what I remember, this shit is made of fucking... This shit was built at Joann Fabrics. This is the worst made suit I've ever seen. So when I'm hearing all these stories, I just imagine this dude who has nothing better to do with his days off or whatever, and he's just running around like in the 80s. He just had like a fucking fucking pickaxe and was just fucking up people's cars, and then he just walked back into the ocean.
What about the red eyes?
Oh, you got me there. It could have been lights. Well, to be like
80s.
Okay, you got me there.
Actually, I think it was 90s.
What about like the reflective suits? You know, those reflectors, they can just put red one of those. Like the ones lifeguards wear. Not lifeguards. What's the word? Crossing guards.
Yeah, but those are yellow, green.
Yeah, but they could make a red one, I bet.
Now, over weeks and months and repeated tellings, the details have changed several times, from scales to the creature being packed with mud. How far away Davis was from the creature when he first saw it, and whether or not it attacked the car. Now, Radford questioned how Davis was able to see these details of the lizard man creature at 2 a.m. when there was no light nearby in a heavily wooded area, and when the moon was not bright. If this was an aggressive
revealed
creature,
to me in a dream.
if this was an aggressive creature, why were there no other credible sightings? According to Radford, the timing of Davis's story didn't make sense. If Davis saw the creature in the shadows while he was closing the trunk of his car, Davis still had to get back in the car and take off. Yet Davis claims that the creature was so fast that it caught up to the car when he was doing 40 miles per hour. Now,
40 mile.
reports vary with the source that Davis told the police about the attack 2 or more weeks later. Now, after investigating, Radford states that the polygraph test administered to Davis may have been a publicity stunt by Southern Marketing Incorporated, a company arranging personal appearances for Davis. Another curious issue was that there are no photographs of the damage to Davis's car, which provides some evidence that something happened. Newspaper accounts give various descriptions of the damage to the car, and in one local newspaper, Davis is quoted as saying he escaped with no more than a scratch on his fender. Radford states that Davis's report is quite literally incredible, riddled with implausibilities and impossibilities. It may be sincere or it may be a hoax, but in either event, no hard evidence of the creature has been found. And that's all I got.
So then what's their explanation for the cars back in the 80s?
I have no idea.
Vandals? Hooligans?
It could be a lizard man.
Could be a lizard man is the thing.
That's the guess I'd wager.
I also love how many of the cryptids are just like animal man.
I think that's what it means.
Cryptid?
Or there was something.
Cryptid just means an animal that's like
I was thinking a werewolf.
The existence is. Oh well, where means.
Yeah, but
there's another word for a female werewolf, but it's just been lost to time because everyone just calls the species werewolves.
Oh man, I want to look. Anyway, this whole story sounds like one of those. It sounds like a classic story, where crazy townspeople.
Yeah,
the bad guys.
This shit would not happen in Phoenix. This is one of those small town stories.
Yeah, small town.
Like
story.
the Loveland Frogmen. Who the fuck?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of Loveland until I heard of those frogmen.
But like the bad guy, like what was it? Ben Radford. Sounds like a bad guy name. Yeah. This just sounds like one of the Sploogiverse story. We may as well just steal it.
Well, no,
Actually, I'm probably just gonna steal it.
We kind of did. Do you remember what we wrote for the Lizard Man? No. We did it that it was he was a very sad. He was a divorced man who lived in Bishopville or whatever. I remember that name of the city. We said something. I think we used that Ore Swamp. Is that what you called it? Was it
some of the Ore
Cape Ore, something about that.
Southern.
Whatever.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Irrelevant. He was just like a divorced, depressed man. On his free time for just some fun, he would put on a lizard costume and just start like making like those little tracks. Just for some fun for the kids of the town, right? Have them believe in something. And then we had a big villain who takes place in the universe, Mr. Loveland, right? And he recruits, because he's a cryptid, he's a frogman. He recruits a team, kind of like the Sinister Six situation, a league of supervillains, that they're all cryptids. And he hears of this lizard man, and he sends him an invite, but he's unaware that it's just a man in a suit. And so he joins the team because he's got to be a part of something. He got nothing else to do. He's a divorced man in his late 50s. And then in the first bout with full force, the main characters, he dies. He's like the only one that dies in like the battle because he's just a guy. And and the characters are thinking that they're fighting like monsters, so they're using full power. And he's like the only casualty because he's just a guy. That's all we wrote for him. But other than that, it's a good story. You could make something really good out of it.
I just don't know what the point would be. Like, I would want the lizard man to be real.
We could pretty easily make one here because the forest is a pretty common.
Oh, I'm not getting a lizard costume.
Well, no, it has to be a lizard. We don't have any. I guess we do have a lake, don't we? But not a lizard costume. Maybe like a Bigfoot kind of thing.
What? I want the lizard man.
Okay, well then it'll be a lizard man.
We also need like a guy in his like late 40s.
Well,
for Ben Radford.
I could find a guy.
We need local people, like townspeople.
Real people. real people.
We also need to shut down the city of Flagstaff to shoot some scenes.
We also need to let the government know ahead of time that there is not actually a lizard man. It's just us filming a movie.
Flagstaff is tough.
Flagstaff's tough.
Filming wise.
How
Like,
so?
There's local there's like, store chains that, you can't show the logos. Well, I guess that's film festival. I don't think it cares when you're just putting up a YouTube video.
Yeah. As long as it's not sponsored, you don't really care about brands and shit. Sponsor.
Anyway, that's
the lizard man.
a cool. I like the tale of the lizard man.
It is good. It is legitimately a nice story. Not nice. Nice makes it sound like it's heartwarming, but it's a good story. That's probably the most I've ever laughed in just talking about one of our proposed creatures. We've laughed a lot on the show, but not at any of our animals or cryptids. That was pretty funny. I enjoyed that.
That's a good story.
It was a good story.
I'm gonna miss him.
Mine, I'd heard of a long time ago. Unfortunately, this one didn't predict 9/11 like my last one. But they can't all be bangers. But this one is a banger though, and it does follow the same theme of Animal Man.
Animal Man.
But this one has 2 legends, and it's literally the only information that exists. I think he's just like a folklore character more than a cryptid. But some people still tell tales of him over where he's from, which is Britain. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna say it, England. But yeah, and then I'm gonna give a little bit of research, and then I'm gonna tell a story like a campfire. For those of you watching the video, it'll be very nice. I'm gonna put the flashlight up to my face. It's gonna be very atmospheric.
I don't want to die for them to miss me.
You what?
This is the part of the Drake song.
That sounds like a Drake line.
I don't want to
Drake
die
kinda
for
gotta
them
say
to
that.
miss me. Anyway, go ahead, sorry.
All right, so I'm talking about the Rat Man of Essex. No, sorry, the Rat Man of Southend. You know where Essex is?
Is that ESSEX?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I did say it was in England, so that's on you.
Oh. I don't know where in England. I don't know if you meant like Winchester or something.
Well, Winchester's actually a different place, much like Phoenix is not Flagstaff.
Wait,
It's a different place that both exist in England. England has more than one city. England
I
is
didn't
my
know
city.
if you meant a city.
England is my city. Actually, it's not a city. It's a region. But Southend is a city in
I
Essex.
don't know why this turns off.
It's a local legend originating in the town of Southend-on-Sea. Otherwise, just sort of shortened to Southend. Now, there are 2 main legends, and the 2 commonalities between the 2 being a rat-like creature existing in an underpass. So I'm going to tell you, so I wrote stories at a campfire style, and then I'm going to read them. And I added some flavor to them because I told you there's like no information on this bitch. So here we go, I'm going to get the flashlight. Oh, god damn. Oh! Okay. Oh, Jesus. This sucks. Why do people do this?
There's a lesser.
Is it? Oh, how's that?
Just hit the button.
Well, because there's a thing that says auto. Anyways, so the first one is the most common story, and it's where people believe he's a ghost.
What? He's a rat.
The year was 1887. An old man without home wandered the streets of Essex. Tattered with the cruelty of time, he was aged and struggled to walk, barely getting by with a limp and a drag. On nights plagued with rain and cold, the old man would seek shelter in a Southend underpass. Though these streets were riddled with bastards and criminals, the underpass was an escape for man and nature alike. One fateful night, the rain unrelenting, the cold biting, the streets dreadful. The man cowering, covered in a blanket, unable to reach his refuge of the underpass, was burdened, as many are, by children. A group of teenagers came across the old man and beat him. They laughed as he screamed, pain overcoming him, scrambling for his blanket, a touch of warmth. Beating after beating, the cold gnawing at his wounds. That's not even funny, Raymond. As they walked away,
We're laughing.
As they walked away, proud of their grim bidding, the man lay there dying. Where the wounds wouldn't kill him, the cold would, as his blood freezing on the pavement. As his corpse stiffened, the pests, the rodents, the rats of the street came and feasted, gnawing at his wounds. But as he died on the very streets that betrayed and ignored him, he lived on in the underpass that protected him. Visit it and hear how his nails drag along the walls, reminding himself of every crack and crevice that kept him warm and safe. Hear his voice as he squeals in joy that free of burden and poverty, the rat man of South End is home.
Where is your rat?
I don't know. but he's described, when ghost sightings, he's described as a rat man. Like a half rat, half man ghost. And the only reason he exists is because people sometimes walk by the underpass and hear scratches and like squeals. And they're like, there's a rat man living in there. That's the only reason. It's like a folklore thing. I just made up the year 1887. I couldn't find an origin to this bitch. I couldn't find anything. I heard something that's like from the 19th century because that's when like they got like a big population boom, and so a lot of people were like homeless and poverty stricken and shit. But yeah, the rat man of South End just lives in an underpass, and he's kind of like scratches the walls and squeals. I just added a little bit of flavor to it, like I gave him. I just gave him some character. I fleshed him out. The only thing the legend is that it's just an old man who couldn't walk very well and was very cold a lot because he was homeless, and some kids beat him to death, and then the rats ate him, and then his ghost just lives in the underpass. That's all the legend is. That's it. I just picked it because it was a funny name, Ratman, and I was like, I saw a very funny picture that was like, it was like him in a tunnel, but it looked like it was just a PNG placed in a dark tunnel. Like the lighting was so off, and the caption was like, "Is this real? Could it be doctored? Is it a ghost or a man that's actually there?" And I'm like, "What the fuck, people?" The other main version of the story is far more fanciful and seems to have emerged through schoolyard folklore, a tale passed between children to frighten and unnerve their classmates. I don't like this one as much. The year was 1887. South End was growing. People flooded in by the dozen. The city was not fit for such a population. As more people infested the city, there were more people than homes, more unemployed than employed, more children than there were teachers, more criminals than there were laws. But before he could clean his streets, before helping his people, the mayor was occupied with his own wants. He was not free of crime. He committed a crime most heinous. A crime against love. Adultery. But this crime would not go unpunished. Cursed for his infidelity, the bastard child born of adultery was grotesque. The sins of his father written into his blood, the child was born with an elongated snout and a worm-like tail. Fur covered his body as it stood curled and close to the ground. The boy was born a rat, like his father before him. As the child grew, he developed a taste for flesh, blood hungry, and the mayor had the underpass built to conceal his bastard child. As the mayor could not save his city, he could not save his son. A boy punished for his birth, and a mayor praised for his sacrifice. Visit the underpass and hear him. Hear as he scratches from the walls and cries. Hear him cry for his freedom, for food, and for his father. Pray not for the poor souls found in the underpass, consumed by the boy, but pray for the boy, for everyone must eat. I don't like that one as much. The fact that a mayor fucked another woman and gave birth to a rat, this woman, what would the woman do to deserve a rat child? But yeah, that was an interesting one. But people like do believe this ghost is actually there because they do hold ghost tours in this town, and one of the attractions is this underpass. And the story goes for the second one, it's like one of those tales that they would tell kids to like make them behave. Because like if you don't be careful, Ratman's gonna get you. Stay away from that underpass.
Don't have sex with the.
Don't have sex with other women that you're not married to. You'll have a rat child.
You have a rat child.
You have rat boy. You have to fucking bury him in a wall.
Oh wait, but so the underpass, it could just be actual rats just squealing.
Oh no, it is. It most certainly is just rats running around this tunnel, but it could also be a rat man if you think about it. You never know.
But we've never seen reports.
Yeah, no. There's no funny pictures. Well, actually, I can show you the funny picture. But it's really just people hearing rats and being like, what if they were also men, too?
Men. Ooh, men,
baby. Here's the picture of the underpass nowadays. That little tunnel there?
What tunnel?
The tunnel, there's a door right there.
Oh, through that door is the tunnel?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever went into.
This one's funny. Look at this edited picture of a rat man. It's literally just like a 50% opacity man with like a little mouse head on top of his where his human head would be.
My man looks like Arthur.
This is the one I was telling you about. Like that's like the lighting's not even right. You can see his full body in this pitch black hallway. It's not even a scary tunnel. It looks like that one tunnel at Bourgade at our high school. It doesn't. It's not even a very long tunnel. What tunnel? It's a very short tunnel. How can you be scared of such a small tunnel? You can see the other side.
How can it be such a? That reminds me. Don't do that if you're turning a rat man. Yeah. It reminds me of, like, my mom used to say, like, oh, don't eat the kernels from the popcorn. You'll become a corn stalk.
That's awesome. I'd love to be a corn
I was
stalk.
terrified.
My mom told me that about salt. Oh, you get salt sugar and put it on my tongue. Say, don't do that. You'll become a burro, a donkey.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to be a donkey. So
you
put the
didn't
salt
eat
sugar
the salt?
down. I mean, I did, but not as much.
I had
just enough to not become a donkey. Because I had seen Pinocchio. That shit was terrifying.
Dude, I didn't
want to be a donkey.
Yeah, that scared me.
That's not the life for me.
Like this.
I wouldn't live a donkey's life.
Me neither. You gotta carry stuff.
Yeah.
People call you a jackass.
People call you an ass.
Eddie Murphy.
I remember I used to say ass.
I like Eddie Murphy.
I like Eddie Murphy. I remember I used to say ass in school. Like, I can say it because it's in the Bible. Because the Bible would call them asses when referring to a donkey. When referring to what we would commonly refer to as a donkey, they refer to as asses.
I know that.
But see, the thing is,
I've read Aesop's Fable.
A butt. But yeah, that's all I got on the Rat Man of South End.
South End.
I kind of like the story. I don't know. I feel like there's something interesting in the fact that as a human species, we're so innately drawn to telling stories, where it's like someone in the, I don't know if it actually dates back to the 1800s, the 19th century, but they just walk by this tunnel and they're like, there very well could be a half rat, half man in there. So watch out, kids.
So watch out.
Watch out, kids. But then like the fact that they like because quite frankly they could have very well just kept it at a rat man, and the kids would have been like, that sounds scary as shit. I'm not gonna go in that tunnel. But they had to give them a backstory where you feel sympathetic. They beat an old man to death and he became a rat man. I don't know why he was the one that was punished. Yeah. But he became a rat man and now he lives in this tunnel. That's why I try to give it a positive spin, where it's like he likes this tunnel. He's happy. He chooses to stay here.
I had a thought and I forgot it.
What was it?
I don't remember, so I forgot it.
That's a shame.
It's like werewolves.
How so?
I don't know. They're called something. They're like a half or a human that turned into an animal. That's called something.
An animorph.
Is it?
No, those are the books. Remember the books, Animorphs?
No.
Where the front cover would be like a picture of a little boy, and then he'd become like a frog, and there'd be like 3 stages in between. You never read Animorphs?
I don't know what that is.
I didn't either. But I would look at the covers at the Scholastic Book Fair. Oh. I'm like, damn, this girl could turn into a hawk.
Put that back.
Yeah, not gonna read that. You ever read a Goosebumps as a kid?
No, I maybe read like one.
We should do a Goosebumps book club.
Why? Oh, you know what I'd rather do?
No.
The Treehouse ones.
Oh, what was it? Magical Treehouse? Is that just what it was called?
Magic School Bus.
That's the one. No, was it? It was like a
Magic something with Treehouse. And they went to like
time traveling.
Ancient Europe. Or
something. It was like time traveling. That's not scary.
I'm surprised they haven't made a movie about that.
Yeah, you're right.
They made a Goosebumps one.
There's another. Those were good though. I read those.
Those are good. Yeah.
I couldn't name you a single one that I did read, but I read those.
Oh, there was another series. I used to read these all the time because
Tell me about them.
It was like I survived.
Oh, I know those.
I survived 9/11. I didn't read that one. I didn't read that. I don't know.
Wait, did that exist?
I have no idea.
Oh my god.
There's one about a tsunami though. I read.
That. I think it wasn't the one that I survived the Titanic.
Oh, that's the one I read.
Dude,
there must be a lot
if they did make one about 9/11, I have to read that. That's fucking crazy. That's insane.
There's one about I survived. I think I read this one. The Katrina, Hurricane Katrina. I think that's the one.
That was like pretty recent. They still make those books?
I have no idea.
I survived COVID-19.
I survived the pandemic.
I survived a pandemic. But yeah, I was never.
I survived high school.
Horror's an interesting thing for me. I thought
you said horrors.
Horrors are an interesting thing for me. That sucks. What a
My
bad
God.
word. Oh my God, my bird! Damn, that bitch dead. That's why people, I think, in the East, they say horror. That's
Horror?
to avoid that.
Sounds like a pirate.
Not actually to avoid. That's just their accent.
Oh.
Horror. No, but I say horse. But horror is interesting. I've never been like super into it as a kid. I read like a couple of Goosebumps. I read Say Cheese and Die. Did you ever read any Goosebumps?
I don't know what Say Cheese. Oh, maybe one. I don't know. I think I got too scared. I was like, I'm not reading.
You
about
would.
this.
You seem
Fuck
like
it.
that. You carry yourself like a man who couldn't handle a Goosebumps book. I
Why
read
would I
The
wanna read
Blob.
that?
I read Say Cheese and Die. I know for sure those. And then R.L. Stein did another like not spin-off, but like another horror thing for kids. It was about a dog that like the cover was him like hulking out and breaking out of a cage. That one wasn't as good. But the Say Cheese and Die, there's a plot of like this kid's. Oh, they made they had the Goosebumps show in the 90s.
Yeah.
They basically their book. Ryan Gosling played the main character.
Oh,
when
that's
he was
right.
like
I
14
remember
or
you
something.
I think you showed like the boys on Discord that.
he was a funny looking kid back then. But basically, he finds a camera, and every time he takes a picture of it, it shows them on the camera how they're gonna die,
Whoa.
or that they're gonna die, or by taking a picture, No, yeah, because I remember in the show, because I watched that one recently. In the episode, his brother gets a new car. And he's like, "Take a picture with me with that new camera." And then the dude's like, I think like the guy's like a skeleton, and like the car is like wrecked, like in a car accident, and he's just like, But yeah, and then as I besides a couple Goosebumps book, as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little more into horror things. We should go to another haunted hotel.
What?
We should go to another haunted hotel.
I don't want to.
We should go to the one that The Shining is based off of.
No, I'm good. That's actually like no. What was it?
We should go cryptid hunting. What's the closest one? Bigfoot? That's in California.
Oh, there's Bigfoot sightings in northern Arizona.
That's where we are.
I haven't seen.
What if we just go camping for like 3 months?
I don't. I got school.
Okay, once you graduate.
I have school. I'm getting my master's.
Okay, well, once you graduate that.
That's a joke.
I was saying,
my
getting masters in art when you fucking nerd.
Yeah. I know some people do that. Like some professors.
They're
I'm just
fucking
like,
nerds.
I've
Well,
asked
no, to be a professor, you have to.
I guess, but one guy got it, and he was like my teacher, and then now he's doing other stuff. But
Mhm.
like, I don't know why you would want to. I don't know what that proves. To me, at least. Like, oh, you're educated. You have your history of.
Well, that's the thing about art.
You don't even watch Frank Capra movies. Like,
That's the thing about art. But like, I mean, in this economy, dude, a bachelor's isn't going to get you anywhere in any career. Well, except for art. But art hire you off of a portfolio, not because of your education. You show them a good short film you made, they're gonna be like, "That's pretty good. I like that. Make that again."
what was I gonna say?
But for me this time, I'll pay you to make that again.
Those Goosebumps things
Uh huh.
sound like Twilight Zone episodes, but less like for children.
Oh well, yeah, almost that. I never read any. I've never seen a lot of Stephen King stuff. The Twilight Zone's not meant to be like scary though, is it?
There's some scary.
I think it just
stuff.
has that vibe because I feel like as we've progressed, black and white is like, and like grain and shit is like a spooky vibe for
There's
people.
some spooky stuff. I was always scared to watch it because I thought it was scary, but I was watching.
Like I feel like the point is always like
it's
to
not
be
scary at all.
from what I've gotten, the point is just to be like unnerving a little
It's
bit, but not
supernatural.
like terrifying. Not like to strike the fear
Yeah.
of God in you.
There's one well, he made it so he can have aliens say things that Democrats and Republicans can't, because he wanted to talk about stuff, and
Mhm.
that was his way of doing it.
Yeah.
Outsmarted those networks because he's a smart guy. And
Yeah.
networks people are like fat and stupid. But
Fat and stupid.
but what was I gonna say? There's one episode. I think it's the monsters at Elmore Street. Some streets involved.
Some street.
There's a street
The
in the
Nightmare
title.
on Elm Street.
No, it's not that. But these like city folk or these suburban people are like scared, or it's like normal suburban life. It's in the 50s or whatever, and then like like this like comet like comes by and whatever, and like their electricity's not working, and everyone's getting paranoid and everything, and then they start blaming each other like, oh my gosh, it's him. Why were you by that car? How did your car just turn back on after all of ours? They're blaming each other, and then this kid said it's like this thing from a comic he was reading where like these aliens or whatever, and people start getting paranoid and everything, and they're like, oh, I don't believe this kid. But eventually,
Like this kid.
we see like these two like aliens. I don't know if they're actually aliens or like they're in like suits,
Yeah.
like like astronaut suits or whatever,
Oh.
and they're just watching this town from afar. And then one of the aliens like, how long do we give him? Like, give him some time, and basically we'll conquer this place because they're destroying themselves.
Mhm.
Something like that. It was crazy. I was like, holy crap.
That's how it be. That's why
they
the
said it way
two-party
better,
political
though.
system doesn't work. What would it take for you to believe me if I said that I saw an alien?
What?
What would it take for you to believe me if I said I saw an alien?
Show me a video.
Really?
I don't need scars. That's not proof. You could have stabbed yourself.
That's funny. So if I came in here like freaking out of my mind, I'd be like, dude, I saw a fucking UFO. I saw something. I don't know what it was. Pretty sure it was aliens. You just be like, okay.
You'd be like, that's pretty cool.
Another classic Dan bit.
I want to see a UFO.
I don't, by any means.
Why not?
Because I wouldn't be able to continue my life after seeing a UFO. You want me to see a UFO and I have to drive my ass to JCPenney's the next day and work for an hour shift? No. Fuck that.
Now you got a cool story.
But no one's going to believe me. First of all, that's another thing. Everyone's going to be like, you're fucking crazy.
You just make a movie out of it.
Then people, that's actually, that probably makes them believe me less.
Steven Spielberg made 2 movies about aliens. 3.
Yeah. And I don't believe, does he claim to have seen an alien?
I don't think he's ever seen one.
Exactly.
In interviews, he said, I've wanted to, but I've never seen one.
But if I was a filmmaker,
You can just say, oh, this is a
like,
cool story I thought of.
if I was a yeah, okay. That's what I was gonna say. Like, if I was like an artist, which like my friends know that I am, and I was like, I told them the story, I'd be like, that's a good story. That'll work good on paper. You got a good thing going. That's a good first draft. And I'm like crying.
This really happened, man.
Come on.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I wonder if they're telling the truth.
Who's they?
Like those people were like, I was abducted, and they looked at my private
I-
areas or whatever.
I don't
want
know.
to believe.
How deep have you gotten into that rabbit hole? Because I know like the Pentagon like dropped like those files recently,
Oh yeah, I was in.
and I've heard things of them, but I've never like looked into it myself. So I only know bits and pieces. I couldn't actually like tell you anything. I know there's like the little Tic Tac shaped ones that go from 0 to like 100 miles per hour in literally nanoseconds, no momentum or anything.
We played these games. MC.
That's crazy. Wait, what is your take on ghosts?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't want them to get me.
Whether you're real or not, I don't want no ghost to get me. If you're scared of the lizard man, well, you might be a redneck. That's my Larry the Cable Guy impression. I'll be here all week.
Yeah, you will. Anyway, I was gonna say something. What were we talking about before ghosts? UFOs. Aliens.
UAPs.
Yeah. Well, when I was back into Joe Rogan, he had like all these people on there, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
He's a big conspiracy head.
And I was following with them, but then I stopped watching them, so now I don't know anything.
Yeah. Well, the people are crazy out there. I know. Honestly, all of my stuff has come from Mr. Matt Watson from Super Mega because he talks about them a lot on the podcast. Not a lot, but every once in a while, he'll get into them. And there's some stuff that people believe it's cray. I don't. I'm one of those like that universe is so big. There's got to be someone out there. There's got to be something out there. But I don't know if I believe that they've been here and been among us.
I feel like it'd be pretty cool.
I mean, it would be cool, but I don't know if it happened. You know what I mean? Like me getting $1 million would be pretty cool, but here I am, $50 in my bank account.
Why?
We are pending millionaires, though, or I am. I don't know about you.
That's awesome. I'm a pending. What do you do? I'm a pending millionaire.
Not really. I'm a pending millionaire, so I just kind of float by on that.
What was the joke we had when we were like in high school? Like we're on those little white buses.
It was
It was
about Minecraft. We're like, yeah, yeah, I'm a Minecraft YouTuber. I make parody music videos. One could say I make bank. That's what I kept saying. One could say I make bank.
One could say I make bank.
I wonder if they can even see us in this lighting.
I don't want to die for them to miss me. God's plan.
This is the scariest.
I feel good sometimes. I don't. Hey, whoa. I think he says like whoa or something like that. Anyway, I want to be like Dr. Seuss.
Racist?
He's racist?
Yeah.
I meant lyrically.
Oh, you want to spit bars like Dr. Seuss?
I just want to make something like that, like a children's book.
That's what our Jack and
Everyone
Jill
knows
book,
what
children's
it is.
book would be.
I know, but I don't know how he did that.
Um,
Like the worlds he created, and like the characters,
Yeah.
and like they rhyme and all that stuff.
Yeah, he got a lot of crazy words in his brain.
I would just like to know how you do that. I wonder if did he draw him? He probably didn't draw him.
No, yeah, he drew.
Really?
I'm pretty sure he drew.
Crazy man. Because I don't see anybody now doing that stuff.
Children's books?
Or
Jimmy Fallon makes children's books.
Yeah, but I didn't know that until you said it.
You
Like
didn't?
everyone knows Dr. Seuss.
Yeah,
they know the name.
Well, that's because that shit's in schools.
I know, but I want someone to be that transcendent where like the next Doctor. Well, not the next.
You said you want to be someone like that, or you want someone?
I would just like someone to put something out like that. It'd just be cool.
I mean, as far as children's books goes, I don't know. But
like
maybe that's because we're not children.
Yeah, but even now you know what Dr. Seuss is.
Yeah, because we learned about it when we were children.
It went right across the
my
hall.
my point is that we know about Dr. Seuss because we learned about him when we were children, when we were the target demographic. We don't get our minds wiped after we're not kids anymore, like Fairly Odd Parents.
I can go to work.
This isn't Fairly Odd Parents.
And I say Dr. Seuss, and they know who I'm talking
about.
But
my point is because everyone you're gonna talk to grew up with Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, but I doubt the kids now.
That is my point. We wouldn't know the next Dr. Seuss because we don't read the next Dr. Seuss's books. He's making books. He, she, they is making books for kids. How about this?
When was he in his bag? Like what year?
I mean, I know he was making political cartoons in the World War II times, so probably after that.
Okay.
Or before. Or during. I don't know. He probably dropped Cat in the Hat in the middle of World War II. That should probably dropped on D-Day.
I think
he dropped one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish as the Berlin Wall was being torn down. That's not World War II.
When those books are made, like the classic ones, like Dr. Seuss. I mean, Cat in the Hat, Lorax, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, green eggs, The Grinch. These are classics. Movies were made because of these books.
Yeah.
You got Cat in the Hat, the movie.
I don't really see your point.
Like, I would just like for someone to do that again. Those are cool.
Do you get what I'm saying? I feel like I'm listening to you, but you're not listening to me.
I kind of get what you're saying, but I just don't think it's right.
I get what you're saying. I just think you're dead wrong.
I don't know. It's just I bet kids like 10 years from now, like that are born 10 years from now.
Yeah,
like your Dr. Seuss.
Like your well, that's because you will tell your kids about Dr. Seuss.
No, not my kids. Some other guy's kids.
You're not gonna tell your kids about Dr. Seuss?
Well, of course I will, but
that's my point.
Hypothetically talking about some other guy's kids.
I don't know how to explain this to you further. Dr. Seuss at this point in time is basically in like the curriculum, educationally speaking, in schools. Kids in 10 years, you're right, will know about Dr. Seuss because teachers will tell them about Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, but
my point is there probably is somebody that they're going to learn about that we don't know because we're not in school.
Yeah, but
and we won't know until we maybe have kids, and then our kids come home like, Daddy. I learned about Shel Silverstein. That's an actual guy. That's an actual poet.
But
you could be.
I just feel like it hasn't happened yet.
You could write kids' books. Okay, maybe it has. Maybe it has.
But I just don't think it has.
Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. I wouldn't know because I don't read kids' books.
I only know one children's book author, and that's it. Besides,
no, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
I could name at least 5.
Go ahead.
Children's book authors?
Yeah.
R.L. Stein.
Oh, that doesn't count.
How does that not count?
I'm talking about
every time, I want a compilation of every time you're like, prove this point, and I prove my point, and you're like, that doesn't count.
First of all, you said one name.
I was in the middle of listing them.
Second of all, I mean, like, the ones that aren't going to scare kids.
Okay, fine. Shel Silverstein writes children's poetry.
Oh, that's...
You got Jeff Kinney.
I said children's book, not poetry.
He put them in books. You didn't read Where the Sidewalk Ends?
What the hell is that?
Oh my god, you didn't read Where the Sidewalk Ends when you were a kid?
No, I'm not a fucking loser.
You're the one who's sitting here fucking coming over Dr. Seuss.
Hey man.
Hey man.
He's got bars. You not hear like the teacher singing it in like a...
Everyone's seen that video. Everyone and their fucking moms has seen that video.
I bet kids.
You're the basic bitch.
I'm basic.
You're quoting Facebook memes at me right now.
What? Facebook memes. Bro, I saw that
I bet
on
if you had
YouTube.
I bet if you had a Facebook, you would have the same exact page as
I
a
have a
40-year-old
Facebook.
white woman. You would have, your wall would be identical to a 40-year-old white woman.
I don't have anything on
It would say "Live, Laugh, Love." You would get Minion memes on here.
What's that then?
You never seen like the Minion quotes? What, oh, this? What do you? Oh,
Live-
Live, Love, I didn't. That was a gift from our friend to us.
So he's one too?
Well, no, he got it ironically. There's a difference.
Well, who's saying I'm doing that?
I'm saying you would.
Why am I defending myself here?
I don't know. That's up to you, man. You can give up.
Oh, that's what happened. There was an episode of Frasier where Frasier's ex-wife and his brother.
See you next week, guys.
No, his brother and his ex-wife.